You know, that time you wish you hadn't wore full armour and ridden 2 miles out of range, and you wish you put a trolley handle on. You know that time. Yeah.
Wearing one of the original tops from the Ninebot 1 when it first came out, and this is where Speedy Feet's history lies, within the Ninebot 1. This machine here is what really started it all for Speedy Feet. Gave us confidence in a product that was well built, was well funded, and the people doing it had a passion for that product. Hello everybody! 2 weeks break, so good to see you all on. I know a few of you have got on now. Hey, we've got quite a few people on as well. I've got 21 people that have actually tuned in, which is good. Perhaps I should have a break every week, should have a 2 week break, maybe that'll help. You never know. Let's get this, trying to log into the Facebook page because I don't like leaving the Facebook peeps out of it. But it's a bit hopeless, to be fair. Let me just check now. How are you all doing? And what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks, I would like to know. That's what I'd like to know. Have you done any riding? How many miles have you done? What wheels you're all riding? Put them in the comments. Write in there what wheels you're riding. I am interested to see the breakdown. And also, your country. Where are you located currently? And is that your native country where you're located? A lot of questions there, isn't it? How do I have a look at this? So if I go there, and go there, seeing people who are on is quite difficult. I might give up on the old Facebook thing. They've changed it, you see. So usually you go through a page manager and you can just see the comments. Now it's saying you can't do that. They don't allow you to manage it. So if you're on Facebook, I probably won't see your comments, to be honest. So let's just turn that off. Get rid of that. Okay, so what have we got here? We got Jens is on. He's first. Jason's on. Jason the Mavic man. Might own a DJI Mavic. Mr. Derpy Panda. He's on. Michael King's on. Diana Wu. And it's actually written Wu right on time. Spelled slightly differently there. Where have you been? Jake asked. We got Jake on. Andy Adams. Yep, we got Marcus on. Brilliant. Excellent. Cool, so right on time. Where have you been? So I wasn't very well. Had a virus, man flu you might call it. It's never nice doing that, really, sort of sitting in front of a camera when you're like that. So I gave it a miss. Good to see you all anyway. You've got a UK. Jason's in the UK and is riding a Tesla. Michael is in the USA, US of A. He's got a Kingsong 18L. Pretty sure you might have 9bots as well. Possibly 9bot 1s. Andy, I'm not sure where he's located, Andy, but he's ridden a Monster in the snow, so he owns a Monster. So if you just joined, we were asking a question: what wheel do you ride, and where are you located? So Monster, we've got Monster, Tesla, KS18L. Went on a group ride. Diana went on a group ride with 30 wheels last night in Singapore, where I'm from. Wow, 30 wheels. Okay, that's quite a lot of riders. You have to send it, Diana. If you need to send it, you need to send a picture in to us, and then we can overlay it. So we're going to try something slightly different today as well. We've got some graphics we want to try to overlay, just pictures of interesting thought. We're going to try that. And if Mario could be so kind to get the list of topics off my desk, which I left on there, written on the back of an envelope, that would be brilliant. He's managing this live stream in another room currently. Okay. Welcome back. That's Marcus. Gotway Tesla. So Marcus. Sweden. Tesla. Cool. We got a KS18L. And Jens, I think you got an 8. Yeah, I think you got an L. Just a standard as well, haven't you? Gothenburg, Sweden. And you've ridden about 275 kilometres in the last 2 weeks. Or have you just put on 275 kilometres since you received it? United States of America, 18L, Kingsong 18L. Wow, okay, we're getting a few 18Ls popping up now and XLs. Z10, and also going to be getting an M Super X 100 volt. Yeah, less torque on that one. Less torque, less distance. Thank you very much, Mario. Very good. Let's fold that over.
Making tea.
He's making tea. Mario's going to make me a nice cup of tea. So that's nice, isn't it? That's good. Yes, we got that, so let's have a look. I'm about to buy my first wheel briefly. Kingsong 16S or InMotion V10. Well, watch our, well, not ours, Jonathan did a video. Have a look at that where he chose all those wheels. He rides the KS16S and also the V10s in there and several other wheels. Go and watch that. If anyone's got a link to it, link it up. If not, I'll try to remember and link it up, but I'll probably forget. So have a look. It's called John Chooses a Wheel. Definitely worth watching that if you're in for a wheel, and that happens to include 2 wheels you mentioned. That's why I brought that video up, so that's kind of already done. I would lean towards, I think I'd lean towards V10 overall, but go and have a look at that video, you'll get a much better, that's why we did it, you'll get a much better idea. Hi, last week, first time on EUC, first in Israel. Wow, okay. For 1 month in Budapest, 2 EUC in Budapest. Wow, so you've got multiple locations. Israel, we can't ship to Israel. We've tried several times. Customs are really, really tight and won't let it in, as in very efficient, should I say. When I say tight, I don't mean tight-fisted. Jake, 1C plus, Jake says. Monster, this is Andy, this is. Monster V8. IPS i5, and he's from New York, so multiple wheels. What is the weather like in New York, I'd like to know? Is it similar to what we got now, 0 degrees? It usually is about the same, isn't it? I woke up but working. Haha. M Super X, not sure where you're from though, but you're riding the M Super X 9bot. I'm pretty sure it's an XL I have and not an L. Yes, you've got, I know you ordered the XL, but for some reason, Jens, I thought you also had just the L. I'm not sure why I thought that, but, you know, I get confused easily. I'm easily confused. Also added another InMotion V8 to my collection. My wife will be riding it as soon as the snow is gone. And we might have a little preview of that later on, I feel. Most likely. Slight apologies in advance, possibly to that, because it might be just slightly over 1 minute. But Jen's tried to do it. But thank you very much for sending that in. So we got Jen's sent a video in a viewer's video. So if you're watching this for the first time and have just come on board, we do a thing called viewers videos, which regular viewers will be well aware of. You send your own video of you riding in, so it can be of some or anyone riding a wheel. It doesn't have to be you riding a wheel. but try and make it as adventurous as possible, because they get voted on. Once we have 10, then we vote on that 10, and then you win a prize. In fact, we're going to have to think of a prize, aren't we, for this one? The last prize, the end of year prize, was £150 store credit, speedyfeet.co.uk. That was quite significant. Rich Skull won that one. So I did, if you haven't already seen it on Instagram, if you haven't subscribed, we usually have a counter here, but Mario's not been doing his job, so he hasn't put the counter up, which I'd usually point at. It's there. Imagine it. I'll fold this down, and it usually sits on there, and there'd be a counter there, and it'd say a certain number of subscribers. I think we're almost at 6,600 on YouTube, something like that now. It's climbing up, which is good to see. But put a picture up on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and it's of all the wheels we're currently demoing, trying to get to 1,000 kilometres. So there's a photo there, have a look at that. We'll show those later on, all booted up. But yeah, so we've got quite a few wheels that we were talking about, the value of stuff that we've got. Usually what would happen in the old days, before we started this scheme of riding each one to 1,000 kilometres, we'd do the video review, the unboxing, the range test, and then we'd sell it, because it's obviously quite a financial investment, and just sell it off slightly cheaper. But now we're doing 1,000 kilometres on every single wheel we unbox from whenever we started it. So we've got we've got about £8,000, I think it is. We worked out quickly in retail value of wheels that we've got on. We're testing ourselves, trying to get to 1,000 kilometres each, to give you guys actual real life, real world feedback on how those machines do over that period of time. So let's have a look. Us crossing. So Diana has put in the comments on the live feed, if you're watching it live now, later on you might want to see this, I've allowed the link. She's put some pictures up of the ride out of approximately 30 riders. Talk about the law, Ian. Are we illegal riders? Well, possibly, yeah. I mean, my thing is, we have loads of phone calls like this. People ring out and go, are they fully legal? I think they're in a grey area. I'm not a legal expert. They haven't got pedals. They've got foot plates. This is why you always hear me referring to them as foot plates, not pedals, because of English law, where it talks about pedals a lot. So foot plate, and even the parts manuals are called, most of the parts manuals from most of the manufacturers are called foot plates. But they're slowly starting to call them pedals now as well. It's annoying. Pedals go round, foot plates don't. Foot plates are solid. So try and do that. So in terms of that, of course, the e-bikes in the UK, this is 250 watt motor is the most you can have. And that's really to do with propelling you forward, is the spirit of the law there. And obviously some of these got 2,000 watt motors. But a lot of that is, or an undefined amount of that, is to keep you upright, not to propel you forward. So that's where I'm coming from. I think it's a bit of a grey area. It's electric unicycle. It's not really mentioned, but from experience, we did the 1,000 miler all through the UK. We never had any issues at all, and obviously I've been doing it about 5 years now. So Andy has posted up a link which says here's what the weather is like where I am. So I'll allow that one up. So anyway, have a quick look. I think I'm up to the questions, so there we go. So in terms of the law, we just ride round. Of course, if you go 20 miles an hour on a pavement or footpath, two legally defined terms as well in English law, there's a difference between a footpath and a pavement, then you're going to get absolutely slammed for it. You would be a prat. And so if you're going across zebra crossings, pedestrian crossings, flat out, and you've been stupid, then that's going to happen, and it's going to get it banned, and it's going to be a problem. If you're going along at sensible, like when we did the 1,000 miler, we're mostly on the roads, so we stuck to the roads. The argument could be made that, well, you know, you're not a motor vehicle, you've got no tax or insurance, not that you'd be have to pay any tax, it's electric, it's emission free. But the logic behind it is, well, it's a heck of a lot safer than going on the pavement. So in a court of law, of course, if you can explain away your actions and the motives were good, then you'll be looked on more favourably if anything ever did happen. But if you're gunning it along at 20 miles an hour on a footpath, you can't really excuse that behaviour, can you? If you've got headphones in and you've got sunglasses on and it's a dark day and you hit someone in a car and you're on the road, then it's going to be difficult explaining that one away. So just ride sensibly. Where we are in the forest and things like that, you never really meet anyone, so it's all okay. So yeah. Michael King is saying, our state laws say electric bikes are allowed on the trails, so I don't think EUC would be different. No real laws for us yet. So yeah, in the US, bit more mixed. And it's kind of the same here. We've never had any bother. I reckon we're trying to guess how many miles it's done. Probably about 10,000, something like that, miles in total. Not had any bother at all, and I've met multiple policemen. So from that point of view, no issues. But then I haven't ever really been riding like a Prat, I don't think. Usually it's in the forest I might ride like a Prat. So yeah, from that point of view, no real issues. So what do you think about the MSX pedals, foot plates, and the original seat? It's my little campaign to keep calling them foot plates to help us here in the UK. The seat, so the original seat, so you say original seat, I'm assuming you're talking about the old seats we used to stock, which they changed the design of, so they look super cool now, but nowhere near as soft. So the old seat, I used to like the old M Super seat. That was nice. This one here looks essentially the same as that one. This is slightly bigger. That's in shot. It is in shot, yeah. So this one was what the M Super X seat used to look. Super seat used to look like, the same as the Monster, slightly smaller, but nice and soft. And we use those in the 1000 miler. Absolute lifesaver. Couldn't have done it without them. The foot plates on the M Super X, they're tilted. If people don't know that, slightly tilted up. I really, really like that. I find it grips me in when I'm in the forest. It's pushing them in nice and tight. Some people have ground it down to level them out so they're flat, but I don't mind them. Doesn't bother me. Most of these things are conditioning, so if you give them enough time, you'll actually just get used to it. It's just the way it is. I find, for instance, the tilt back on the King songs, when it's low battery or you're going too quick for the speed setting you've got set, I find it really sharp and quite disconcerting. It's like, whoa, flipping it. But you just do it a few times to get used to it, and it's a non-issue. And the only initial reaction to it is because you're inexperienced in it. So the first time it happened to me, I was inexperienced in it, but now I've got used to it. You just expect it of them, you know, it's the way they are. And so foot plates, yeah, you can get more comfortable foot plates, but that's my main wheel, the M Super X, and that, I have no issues with it. It's fine. I get on it and don't think anything of it. So yeah. So see you, Andy. You'll be back. Need to come up to the forest. You certainly do. Number 1 Stunner 187. You need to go out for a ride there. Absolutely brilliant around here. Oh yeah, I made my own seat for a KS18L and it works great. Well, Michael, you could do a little video on that, and you could describe what you did, and it could be a 1-minute video, and you could submit it. If you fancy it. If you don't bother. But you could send a photo in as well if you want to just do a photo, and then I can try and put it up next time, but I'd need a bit of a description of what's going on there. This cup of tea is just not, it's never happening. It's never happening. It's almost like Mario's in there and he's asleep. Because I can't see him. I'll have to get another camera on and have a little monitor here to make sure that he's actually awake. Because I reckon, I got a suspicion he's fallen asleep listening to me. What's your impression about the Z10? The Z10, people ask me all the time. I'm not that bothered by the Z10, would be how I would put it. If I was to choose a wheel between the Z10 and the M Super X, or the KS18L, I would take not the Z10, put it that way. Not that bothered by it. I find it follows the tram tracks, as I call them. Oh, that's by magic. Thanks, Mario. Had you fallen asleep?
No.
No, yeah.
It was slow.
Okay. What are we going to do with the graphic overlays?
I will put them on screen.
Oh, will you? So I'll talk about them then.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. It's been managed by the media exec here at Speedy Feet. Remember, we got Mario in to do the videos, help do the videos, pick up the quality and the content. So Z10, it's the easiest way to do it without having an argument about the Z10 is that it's a bit like the foot plates on the M Super X. You can get used to them and condition yourself to get used to them and think of it as a non-issue. The best way of saying it, the Z10, brilliant wheel, love it, but there are easier wheels to ride that perform better than that wheel, and that's the way you can do it. So it's not a bad wheel, it's just that there are other wheels out there that are actually better. Oh, creaky door, so he's walking. What? Just because I said he wasn't in here there, and now suddenly he's got to be in here all the time. Do you want to be on camera? Because you're quite keen, aren't you? He's coming now. He's saying no, you don't want to be on camera. So there are other wheels out there that are easier to ride. So the M Super X, for instance, that would absolutely smash the Z10. If you pushed it hard, did a race, which we will do at some point, in the trails, obviously not in the middle of the city, because you don't do that, because that's mad. We talked about that earlier. But we will do a versus, and so it's gonna win hands down anyway on range, because the M Super X has got a 1600 watt hour battery packs in it. So you're kind of asking me the impression about the Z10, and I'm answering it by talking about another wheel. But I have to compare those two. So those are the two high end, and you've got the KS18 XL to bring it up even to the same price, basically, as those two, essentially. So that's why I'm comparing it. And all I know is, riding all these wheels, hundreds of miles on all of them, that the M Super X, I would take that any day over the Z10. It's just, in many areas, it's much better. Yeah, and we're going to try and demonstrate that. It's quite difficult. It's not a personal opinion. There are actually lots of facts about it that are better. There's some of the Z10 that are better than the M Super X. You know, not many, but there are some. So the M Super X doesn't excel in all areas, but it's pretty close. Your main wheel is the MSX 84 volt or 100 volt. It's the 84 volt. We're not going to stock the 100 volt version of it at all. We were advised by Gotway not to bother with it. I mean, mainly for me, I would want... A lot of people are saying, and I can't understand the science behind it, but the 100 volt has less torque than the 84 volt. Go figure on that one. Ulf on the forums was talking about it, and he's done quite an in-depth discussion on it, and it looked quite interesting what he was saying, that actually users are reporting more torque on an 84 volt than a 100 volt. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I was trying to look at what they were saying. It's hard to depict on forums who's telling science and who's just making up science. So I read it for a brief while and got on with my work, but it sounds like users reporting back, sounds like they get more torque from it feels like they got more torque from 84 volt. So go and explore that if you're interested in either of those two models. But only ever stock the 84 volt, and mainly because of the range. So you've got 600 watt hours of battery, which is significantly more. So quite like that. Having that range there is what we go for, really. And the V10F, Andrew's saying, don't forget about the V10F. The V10F, yep, is a brilliant wheel. But the battery isn't as big as the M Super X. You know, it's relatively small battery in comparison. So you just don't get the range out of it. So there's always pros and cons to everything, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Now, we've got a couple of news topics. We're going to try some graphic overlays in a minute, so I'm saying that just to prompt Mario so he's super ready. He's going to be smooth, I reckon. But the first on my list I noticed, so these are things that Ian has seen on the web. And something caught my eye today, had a look today, and I think it is awesome. And it's the Shiny Monster, is what I've named it. Now, has Mario... he's frowning. See, he's frowning now. Now, I'm not sure whether or not...
The two monsters.
Yeah, Shiny Monster, yeah.
The mod.
Yeah, the modded one, yeah, that's it. Is that overlaid? Because I can't see live, you see. I'm just seeing it 10 seconds delay. Is it on there, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So on the screen now, you can see those are monsters, and what an amazing job they've done on the body, for a start. You can see it's super shiny. I think that looks absolutely, what I would say, lit or legit, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's brilliant. Not only that, you might spot, if you're familiar with the monsters, the fact that it's got it's not a heads-up display, but it's a digital display that's coming through the bodywork. I think that is absolutely brilliant. I just want you guys to have a look at that if you haven't seen it already. You may know the chap that did the work on them, but I thought I would highlight some of these things because some of this stuff is pretty neat. And some of you might have even seen it or come across it because it might have been flooded out by all the comments and posts they get on these forums. But I thought that was brilliant. Did I give you the name, Mario, of that? I did. I'll find it for you. Sorry, because I sent him a message about it earlier today. I want to credit the chap. CCW Titan is the guy that put the photo up, so I'm assuming that's the guy that's done the work. I'm not 100%, but if it isn't, some of you know better than me probably. But I thought that was quite neat. I really did. So yeah, what do you guys think of that paint job? I'm not even sure what it is. Some sort of anodizing or something, is it? I'm not even sure how they've done that. Be interested to know. I would get mine done like that. See that? That red, make it a nice red. Probably could do with a wash. Get that redone. And that heads-up display, that digital display underneath these strips that run across the top, you can't really see them, but they're smoke finished. So they actually, if you put a light underneath it, you can see up through. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's chrome wrapped. There we go. So it's chrome wrapped. So I can get those chrome wrapped. Perhaps I could do it myself. Can you do it yourself? Is it something you can do yourself, or do you need to be a professional to do it? Will I have a load of creases in it? Is it back up again, Mary? Is it still there, is it? Is it still up, is it, or not?
No, it's not.
It is not. I'll put it back up a second because I want to have a quick look at them, you see. So, yeah, number one stunner, 187, is saying it's easy. And so those pictures you can see of the monsters, that's a chrome wrap. So if you're interested in making your wheel look like that, obviously you're going to have to take the whole wheel apart to be able to do that. And I presume to wrap it around the seam where actually the clamshells close together. If you want to do a proper job, take it apart and then get them chrome wrapped. That is sweet, isn't that? I just wonder how hard wearing it is, but it just looks the business, doesn't it? So I might actually try and get that done. So you can water transfer it on, apparently. Cool. And does anyone know about those displays? Those displays in that picture. Can someone tell me how that's done? Has anyone got any diagrams or anything like that? Because I would love to do that. Look down and see a readout. I just think that's brilliant. So next on the list I'll put in of interesting things Ian's seen on the internet. We need to do like an intro to that. Interesting things Ian's seen on the internet today. Something like that. Z10. So those of you interested in Z10 or 9-bot ones, there is an unofficial unlock of top speed available. And you'll see on the picture that is coming up now. I presume it's up. Don't know. Can't tell. I'm behind. Yeah, it's up. Apparently, you'll see it now. I don't. 9 tool, increase max speed, 9-bot and change model. Now, as you can see, I presume you can see in good quality, supports model C, C+, E, E+, and P, and every model basically. Z6, you can change the model from Z6, Z8 to Z10. You can change it all out so it performs the same. Interesting. Now, I'm not condoning you getting this app, and it costs $30 to actually do the switch, I think. I am pointing out as an interesting piece. It means you can increase the 9-bot Z10, for example, from 28, which we've got here, 28.3 or something, to 34.1 miles an hour as a top speed. How safe that is, no idea. I'm not even going to say, you should be doing that. But I thought it was interesting that these chaps have actually, from Russia, have created a little app which allows you just to connect over Bluetooth, as far as I understand, no wired connection. I don't think, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong, and change the whole metrics of your machine and unlock a bit of extra power and speed. So, yeah, it might blow all, who knows? Is it going to blow the MOSFETs quicker? Is it going to put more strain on the motor cables? And I don't know. No idea. But it's an interesting concept that you can sort of do this over-the-air update and change, especially with the model difference between Z6, Z8 and Z10. Potentially could mean you buy like a cheaper Z6 and make it have the top speed of a Z10. But I just have no idea. People are reporting that they've done it, they paid for it, and I've had no issues whatsoever. And it acts the same way. So I suppose time would tell. If you ran with that new firmware for a long period of time, 500 miles, are you going to start to get failures? Don't know at all. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that is, on hacking essentially these boards. Now, I'd imagine it would void your warranty, which is something to, if you spent that much money on a Z10 and you're going to hack it, then I'd imagine 9-bot are going to know, stroke Segway are going to know that you've done something you shouldn't have done if you upload the log files. So, yeah. So, interesting thought though, and especially if you've got an old 9-bot one, you might want to have a crack at that and see what happens. Probably end up smashing your face in when it cuts out because you're going too fast. Who knows? Next up, we have got Mr. Grand's monster leg pads, which I call. So the standard pads are like this. They're about that thick. So they're really, really thin. Can we enlarge that image? Is that possible, or will that not go any bigger? We pull it into, I'm not sure you're going to pick it up. Real flat, and the issue with the Monster is that you have to stand on it and really throw your whole body weight forward. It's a bit of an unusual thing. Usually you just tweak your knees forward a little bit and these machines fly. But the Monster's such a big wheel, it requires so much effort to get the thing to start rolling. So what he's done, and it's eucguy.com, I think it is, if you go to his website, which I think he's currently stopped selling stuff at the moment because he's so backed up with orders. But if you have a look at that picture carefully, you will see at the front you can lean into that pad. So whereas the pads are usually flat and smooth, this one you can actually push your leg into it and against it to actually get more leverage over the machine to help push it forward. So I think that's a really neat idea. I thought it was worth bringing that up. So you guys with Monsters, if you go to his website and have a quick gander. I went there today and I couldn't see a picture of it on there, sadly. They're called Power Pads. So he's on Facebook, you can hit him up, or on his website. As I say, I think he's shut it down from taking orders at the moment, because I think he's a bit backed up with it. But it's a product that you can get, and I think it comes with adhesive backing tape already as a kit, and you just remove the other one, use a heat gun to take the other one off so you don't get any residue left, and whack that on there. Have a little look at that. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one, because the main problem we had on the 1000 miler was going up hills and stuff, having to lean right forward, nothing really to grip onto. So that would have been quite useful back then. But there we are. Let's have a look. It's not hard wearing. So it's going back to the chrome wrap that was on those monsters. Number one stunner saying it's not hard wearing. One scratch, replace the whole thing. So, you know, you spend that money on it all the time doing it. It might not last long looking like that. But as showpieces sat on the wall, it might be quite neat to get one done. So I might actually look into doing that. Is there any changes in range if you ride a KS18L in experience mode or medium mode? I wouldn't have said so. Then I wouldn't have thought so, no. I mean, the main factors are weight and the speed you're going, and then the temperature, and then the terrain. So the reason some people get higher stats than me when I do these video reviews with the range test is usually because they're in California or somewhere where it's nice and warm. Not 0 degrees or 1 degree. The terrain is usually flatter where they do these tests. They're usually lighter, and all those things will give you more miles, and especially if you go slower. So if you go flat out on a wheel for a long period of time, it just eats up that battery. And it's exactly the same with electric cars. So I've got an electric car. If you just gun it everywhere, you know, the range, woof, it's just dropped. And obviously it's the same weight person driving it. So it's literally, if you hammer it, you're going to get less miles. So if you do 12 miles an hour everywhere, you're going to get huge mileage out of them. And then if you want to go for a jog and get some of this weight off, which I could probably do, I could definitely do with doing that, I would get more miles, definitely. So, yeah, I could do with losing, how much do I lose? 7, what's a stone? A stone is 7 kilograms, is it? I don't know, something like that.
Ask Siri.
Ask Siri. Hey Siri, how much is 1 stone in kilograms?
1 stone is 6.35 kilograms.
There we are, almost 7. So about 6 kilograms. So I reckon I could take off 12 kilograms off my weight to be at a weight that I should probably be at. And that would make a significant difference to my range I get at the wheels. So if you guys are trying to push that range envelope, then you can lose weight. Obviously, that's quite a drastic thing to do. But there we go. Riding the Monster is totally different from the V8. I don't like leaning that far forward. So that's Andy, and those side pads that Mr. Gran makes, you will find it a lot easier to ride with those pads sat there with that outcrop that you can actually lean into and push it forward, essentially. So Andrew has said, am I the youngest EUC rider that bought himself a V10F at 16 years? I would imagine. Who else will ask the question? And let's throw that out there. What's the youngest person you know who rides? Well, you've actually mixed 2 questions in one there, because you've said you've bought yourself that wheel. So if you've done it with your own hard-earned money, well done, for one, for saving up, persevering and getting the cash. Or if your parents just gave you the cash to buy it, then that's a bit different. But if you actually saved to buy that from a Saturday job or working full-time or whatever you're doing, well done. 16 years, because my son rides, and he started riding when he was 9 years old. But, of course, he didn't purchase his wheel, because that would be child labour to get him to buy it. So I did try, but apparently it's illegal. Let's now watch viewers' videos, shall we? I think we got 2 today, haven't we? We have. He's nodding. So 3, 2, 1. Viewers' video.
Viewers' videos.
Jo, nu börjar det komma igång.
Fast jag vill inte det.
Varför inte då?
Det blir tråkigt.
Vill du prova att hålla mig i armen istället då? Så att du inte behöver hålla i planket.
Kanske det.
Nu är jag beredd. Nu kan du åka till andra stolpen.
Jag vill inte filma.
Jo, det här kommer bli jättebra.
Jag vill inte att du filmar.
Åk nu.
Men jag vill inte. Det går inte. Men du ska filma nu, ska det inte gå något bra.
Jo, nu går det jättebra. Jättebra hastighet. Bromsa. Super. Du är värsta proffset.
Åh hej! Åh, nu går vi. Och så går vi. Och så det. Och så. Du lurar mig.
Now we're going to have fun and go on the one-wheelers.
My family is silly, y'all.
Here. Oh, we're back on, I think. Are we? Oh, yeah, we're on. Yeah, cool. Rightio. What do you guys think of those viewers' videos then? I thought some effort went in there. The sumo ones are hilarious. It had me laughing when I first watched it. Let's have a look. Let's go on to that. And learning to ride is good. I think that's the first. No, it's not. It's probably the second video we've had of someone learning to ride, and I just love the fact that she could just basically didn't want to do it. It's like it's not going to happen. This is boring. I'm just still on this wheel, go back and forth. Meh, I don't want to do it anymore. And it went from that to the final thing, which we tell people on the phone. Eventually, you will get it. It's like climbing a mountain. Eventually, you get to the top, and it's like, oh man. And from there on out, it's like, well, what was the problem to start with? But we've all been there at the initial trying to learn stage. It's like, oh, I'm not going to get this. So that was brilliant, I thought. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the wheels we got on demo. I set them up out there. I did put a photo up earlier on Instagram and our Facebook page, which, if you're on Facebook watching this, I'm sorry I'm not replying to your comments. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you them now. So I'm going to leave the studio and it'll go nice and quiet. They're all lined up. He's on program. Look at this, look. So, we have got the KS18L. This Bluetooth's connected. We got the KS18L, which a video will go up very, very shortly. So that's what we got on. So we got to do 1,000 kilometers on this one. Then we've got the MCM5, and we've got to do 1,000 kilometers on that one. We've got the V10, and we've got to do 1,000 kilometers on that one. We've got the KS18L, and we've got to do 1,000 kilometers on that one. Mario's using that whilst he had a puncture on his KS16, which there'll be a video coming out of that, him repairing that, the first repair he has done. Then we've got the V10F. Awesome wheel. As you can see, that is being ridden. All these are being ridden, guys. You know, we're not making it up. It's actually quite a lot of work to actually ride these things. You'd think it'd be like the dream job, but it turns into a load of work. The KS16S. And that has done quite a few miles now. That's Mario's commuting tool with a fixed tyre. And we've got, fallen over at the end, we've got the M Super X, which is my beast. This is the one I'm spending most time on. You got the lights flashing there. Oh, you can get those stickers on the website. Yeah, go and get them. And t-shirts like it. Mudguard. The mudguard is fitted. Makes a massive difference. So obviously in the UK, raining a lot. Yeah, you need that mudguard, which is a rubbery finish to it. And it's just some, it's not focusing now, look. Some small pilot holes. And then you just put the self-tapping screws in. Piece of cake to fit. Just make sure it's central. That stops all the junk flying up, so that's quite good. But as you can see, we've got, what have we got? Boom, 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 boom. A lot of wheels, folks. Just sat there. All that have to be tested. And 1,000 kilometres done them. So... where's the thing? There we go. Spot on. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Oh, back in I come again. Oh, so that's the wheels. You see the wheels we got them in. I don't know all the mileages on them. If I could log into all of them at the same time, I'd tell you all the mileage. But okay, McGraw sent in a video. I'm going to copy that just while I've got it. I'm going to send it to Mario. Miguel, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. But could you send your surname in? And I'll send it to Mario so he can put it on viewers' videos. Thank you for sending the link in. You say it's 1 minute long, which is good. I've sent that to him. He's got it. Right, back onto the old live. Right, okay, so... Go back to the questions. MCM5 looking sweet. I'm getting a new wheel in a few weeks. I'm trying to decide between the KS18L and the V10F. What's the best? Well, we've had a similar question already. If you have a look at the video we did, John chooses a wheel. Have a look at that. I think the KS18L's in that selection. It is, definitely is, yeah. Let me go and have a quick look. I'll try and get the link for you, because the second person to ask a similar question. And you can choose between those two. View all videos. Let's try and find them. Let's get that information for you. If the internet worked when we are uploading at the same time. So calls calls calling me to fall behind. See, this is people that watch this whilst they're supposed to be at work. Andy says, well, I guess my video didn't matter. I sent in. Brilliant. Would you know what video Andy sent in? I only got 2, didn't I? Yeah. Only got 2 by emails. Might be worth sending it back in, Andy. The only 2, the ones that play today are the ones that we received this year. The ones that we received prior, we did for the end of the year thing, last day of the year. So I'm not sure if yours was in that one, but the only 2 we've got are those 2 there. Okay, let's have a quick look. Andy sent a link to me, so I will then pass that to Mario Andy Adams. Space, boom, send that in. Let's have a look if I recognise the thumbnail. No, I haven't seen that before. Nope, not seen that. Not going from that thumbnail. Not seen that before, Andy. So anyway, got it now. I've just forwarded it to Mario. So that's good. So, no Tesla, no Marcus. The Tesla, well, funny enough, I was talking to Mario about this earlier today when we were talking about the value of wheels out there, sat there, just not, we can't sell them. We've got to do the test on them. The Tesla was prior, so it's doing these wheels for 1,000 kilometres, never ever done that until shortly before Mario came to work here, I think. I started doing that, and yeah, so the Tesla was prior to that. Tesla, we did the unboxing video and the range test, and then immediately sold it. Because obviously you can't keep just storing up wheels exactly like we're doing now, because it's a huge amount of money. And his name is, and it's Zinc surname, Mario. I don't know if you'll remember that, but I'll tell you anyway. Full name, right? Okay, sweet. That should sort that out. That's done. John should have chosen the KS16S. No, he shouldn't, because it was a personal choice, and that's the one he chose. So that's a negative on that one. If you use Darkspot, it's easy to swap between wheels. You don't even have to have them turn on to see the mileage. Interesting. Okay, that's an interesting one. I have to find out for next week then, won't we? Next week we'll have a look at that and see if we can get all the mileages up to see where they're all at, if I remember. Quick check in from work. Good to see you back. We'll watch later. Love the XL foot plates on my 18L. John posted up on our Speedy Feet Facebook group that he fitted his foot plates and absolutely loving them. So John's got bigger than average feet and he needed a bigger foot plate. So yeah, Now Jens has written the KS18L mudguard doesn't work. And that's an interesting one because I've just finished and I'm not having the problem that you've had, and you'll see that in the video where I do a water test on it. So that's an interesting one. I'm not sure why yours wouldn't work. It's just a rubber flap. It's bizarre. Yeah, see, mine looks nothing like that at all. So you sent an image in. Yeah, that's not what I got at all. So I'm not sure what's going on there. No idea. Because it's exactly the same. So I just don't get that at all. But no, mine on the 18L XL that we did the video review on, and I haven't heard anyone else have an issue with it. I'm wondering if it's ours is in more or out more or something. There's got to be something subtly different there to cause that. What speed we're testing out, I did 3 runs. I did one at about 8 miles an hour, about 12 miles an hour, and about 16 miles an hour. Hitting basically fairly deep water in the video. It's a massive puddle that's across the whole lot, and there was a few specks on there, but nothing. No. So yeah, no idea. Hi, for commuting every day, distance about 15 kilometres. Which EUC should I choose? I need something with very good record of reliability. So Bim Fish asked that question. Then I need to know your weight, basically. And Jens, to answer your question, you said 30-40 kilometres. I did a range test on it and it was in that ballpark figure, slightly more. For commuting every day, distance about 15 kilometres daily. So I've done that one. So I need to know your weight, Bim, and 60 kilograms. So your light and how far, 15 kilometres, what type of terrain, and what sort of temperatures will you be riding. 15 kilometres, let's have a look. Hey Siri. He just stopped. Hey Siri.
Sorry, I can't help you with that on your Apple Watch.
What's that? Hey Siri. What's 15 kilometres in miles?
15 kilometres is
9.32
miles.
So the next question, Bim, is what's your what's your budget? Not your wage, your budget. I was going to say, what's your wage? I don't need to know your yearly wage. What's your budget? Because what you're talking about is you're in the territory there of having a 9.1e Plus Gen 2. But if you want to do, that's the cheapest one you can get that's going to be any good kind of thing, solid one. Otherwise you go in Motion V5F, depending on your terrain, because it's a 14-inch wheel. Yeah, mostly road, intermodally train. My budget is unlimited. So if your budget really is unlimited, then you might as well go with the biggest, best wheel you can get, I would suggest. So you need to be looking at a 2,000 watt motor. There's a way to go with that. So M Super X, V10F, KS18L, those 3 wheels there. So yeah. I was talking about the speed. I was riding at 30. Oh, she went right. Okay, so you were 30-40 kilometers an hour in terms of speed. What's that? What's 30 kilometers an hour? Hey Siri, what's 30 kilometers an hour in miles per hour?
30 kilometers per
18.
hour.
So it's not far off. Yeah. So it was about that. I went through the water. I mean, it's quite deep water to be fair. Not something. The top speed I did to try and test the mudguard out through water was higher than I would actually go through water in. I'd ride a lot slower because I just wouldn't want to throw water up that high. But it went okay. So yeah. So as you can see, people, in answer to your question, Bim, you can list almost any wheel. So you've got MCM5, you've got Tesla V10F, KS16S, KS18L, KS18XL, M Super X. You can go on all day. If you've got any of those wheels, you'd be massively overcompensating for the range you want to go. So a 9.1e Plus would adequately do your journey. It just won't do it as fast, but that's it. But if your criteria is saying you're going to go 15 kilometers, but actually you're going to really start loving riding a wheel, and then you want to go 20 miles, that's when you start having to choose a proper wheel then to fit your purpose. So if you want to be doing 25 miles, then that knocks quite a few wheels off, and so then you need to be looking at sort of 1500 watt hours upwards. Maybe you get away with 1200 upwards. So yeah, you can pretty much list wheels all day long. But so if you're asking me which wheel I would go for yours and budget was unlimited, then KS16S probably would be about right. It would sit there. So but if you want to try and max out on its spec, then like the Tesla will be, the Tesla will be brilliant. But yeah. Hi Ian, thanks for my Kingsong 18 XL. It's brilliant. I'm glad you like it, Gary. Glad you're enjoying it. Do a video. Are you reviewing Gotway Nicola? Yeah, it's not even out yet. We'll get it in, of course, when it's actually available. Yeah. Regarding tyres, someone saying your tyres back to front, I'm pretty sure the tyres are the same whichever way you put them. I know they've got an arrow on them saying it's this direction of spin, but the tyres, usually the tread's reversible, so if you take a tyre off, look at the tread, and then spin it, it's the same. It's the same both ways round. So you've got one facing forward, one facing back, usually with the little flick. I'm not seeing any way I can describe it, like a hook. Hook faces one way that way, but it also faces that way, and you turn it around, and it's exactly the same when you turn it around. So, on most wheels and tyres. Not all tyres, of course, but most. So, do I really have to travel 200 kilometres on the Beep is my only question. Well, Gary, you can unlock it to its maximum right now through the app, which I think is up to 25 miles an hour. It'll go at that, and then it's 200 kilometres, I think. And there will be other apps available on the market that can unlock it earlier, I think. Jen seems to know quite a lot about Darkness Bot. I'm not sure if you can unlock it with Darkness Bot or not. Not something I use, to be honest. So, yeah, maybe you can. Not sure. Does anyone know the answer to that question? Can you unlock KS18 L XL quicker than having to ride 200 kilometres? Do not know. Kingsong got a new app out. If you haven't seen me, I posted some pictures up about using the app, testing it. So, yeah, that's come out. Seems alright. Some data missing from when I tested it. It was Android only. They sent me a test file to it. I'm not sure if anyone's put that file up for others to have a go at as well. It's not quite finished yet, but it looks a lot better than the old Kingsong app. No idea if this is accurate, as in it overestimates your range and overestimates the distance you've gone or not. Don't know if they fixed that, but okay. Only letting you get to 20 kilometers per hour. Well, Gary, you definitely should not be restricted to that. You can unlock it with the app. That's what I did. So we've got the same wheel. Obviously, I've got that out of the box to do the demo video, and just unlocked it straight away, as much as I could. And then we got locked out of the app because their server's down and they're on holiday. So that's a bit of a shame. So when I've done the unboxing, I can't actually change anything. So okay. So Jens is saying you can't unlock with Darkness Bot. You need to use Kingsong app, but after unlocked, you can set speed limit in Darkness Bot. Okay, so you do need the Kingsong app, basically, to get it unlocked. And I think it's a really, really good idea, but you shouldn't be stuck at 20 kilometres an hour, definitely not, because I've been doing much more than that, and ours has got no miles on it, really, apart from the range test. So you can definitely unlock it, have a look at the app, and see how you get on with that, unless the server doesn't work. So you need to be logged in. So you need to have an account and logged in to be able to get it to work. So, yeah, try that out, see how you get on. I will get the MSX84 mod on Monday. I'll have will I have a max speed for the first kilometres? Not to my knowledge, no. Bim is saying, thanks for your answers. I know that there are a lot of EUCs that can fit my needs, but I would like a more reliable one in a 14 or 16 inch diameter. We hardly get any problems now. With the ones we sell on speedyfeed.co.uk, on those wheels on there, they're the ones that we don't really get any issues with. That's why we sell them. Stuff we've had issues with, then we take it off usually. Just get rid of it because it's not worth the hassle. So anything you see on there, you can take your pick from that really. Go and have a look through it, all unicycles, and then have a look. You can see the 16-inch wheels, and you can see the pricing, and there's a video on each one of those, a full in-depth review video on them, telling you the pros and cons, essentially, real-life use, and the distance they go, and our thoughts on it. So you can do that and do your research there. There's plenty of content. I mean, we've created a lot of videos over the years, so go and have a look at that and make use of them. It's all free, just takes your time to have a look at it. Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, you'll have to look at those videos really. That's the only way you can probably decide, by having a good look around them and on our feedback on those wheels. So, yes. So next week, if you like the idea of bringing stuff in from forums and stuff, we'll have a quick look around at things that spike our interest. We can bring up and show you with graphic overlays like we did today with the paint job or the foil wrap. We can put that into the show. Points of interest. I think we will, because it's quite interesting to grab some stuff. So, and if you spot anything, just email it to us and say, take a look at this, and if it's interesting, we'll put it on the show. Okay, Jens is now corrected himself. I have to correct myself. You need the Kingsong app to unlock the first limit at 20 kilometers an hour after 5 kilometers. Okay. But the unlock from 40 kilometers to 50 kilometers you can do with Darkness Bot. So there you go, Gary. I'm not sure what ours had on it. I think ours must have already had 3 kilometres on it, because I went around the corridors a couple of times, went outside and just maxed the things out before I set off. And so it just worked. Didn't restrict me at all. So, but there we go. So we'll add that content in, and don't forget, do viewers' videos. You need to do your viewers' videos. It's a requirement to watch the show. It's what we ask in return. The counter, which is invisible, it's a Lumetric counter. It's a new model we got. And basically, it's transparent, so you can't see any. You can't see it, honestly. But if I hold this, if I scan it with the, I can see it. Yeah, there it is. See? See? Yeah, that's not there. Next week that'll be there, the counter. But subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Like it as well, and share, and then let people know. Yeah, actually it's blocked by this as well, so you probably couldn't see that. Mario's almost got away with it. You've blocked the counter, so just there you are. Now you should be. Now I've moved that. You should be able to see that counter there. That Mario's definitely done. He's definitely put it there. Yeah. I don't want to keep on about it, but you know. Oh dear. So Instagram and our Facebook page. Go on and follow us on Instagram and go and like our Facebook page. And then you get the pictures in between these weekly shows that we post up. Interesting stuff like all those wheels sat out with all lights on, looking nice and fine. So yes, and that is it for this week's show. If you've got any last questions, let me know. But otherwise, it is all over until next week. He's saying, what do you think of the construction of the M Super X? I think it's absolutely fine so far. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. And obviously, that's why we do these 1,000-kilometre things, because if the thing falls apart, then we will be saying, oh, look, it's fallen apart. So far, though, and it lets you in on a little secret, no issues with it at all. So, still going well. He's missing the blinking hat. Over here, in the UK, we say blinking as a negative. But it's never far from my heart, this hat. It's the only hat that I've been sent. Sad, isn't it? It's the only hat that I've been sent in to me. So I did put a request out to send hats in. That's the only one I received. The only person that cared was Marcus. Hi, I've been watching your reviews and they're very helpful, thanks. I wonder which one of these wheels is best for riding to the top of mountains with very steep hills. What do we reckon? Oh my goodness, I've got other questions. What's the worst wheel? I've got 30 seconds to answer. Best wheel for climbing? I would almost say the MCM5. Fan assisted, 14-inch, real nimble. Depends how far you're going, but it's quite a big battery as well, quite a powerful motor, nice and light. What's the worst wheel you've had? The i5, the IPS probably. What about durability tests? There's no way we're doing durability tests. No. Nope. I'm not going to get the M Super X and drop it off a table onto the floor. There's no point. If I happen to come off it during the testing, then obviously we'll report how that handles. But otherwise, no. I don't purposely break wheels. An hour's up. Gotta go. Got things to do. People to meet. More tea to make. Cheers, guys. We will see you next Wednesday. Thank you very much for tuning in. Send in your viewers' videos. Bye.